Welcome into Capper's Cave. I'm your host, Lorenzo da Costa. This is Free Picks on Capper's Cave, brought to you by Intellect Sports. How's everybody doing out there? Whoa, that got really loud, man. That got really loud. I hope everybody's doing okay. Thanks for listening in. And I hope you're listening because we're just straight crushing. We're straight crushing the numbers. 83% last week on NFL and college. Well, combined, yes, but they both were 83% on each of them. So, and 67% on the year. So if you're not listening, listen in. We got the good stuff for you. So every week, if you're new here, we dive into a mountain of data, and we don't give you all that data. We still put it in our bets, but we eat up all this advanced analytics that help you kind of narrow down the best bets. But this week, we want to give you some examples of situational handicapping, which we do, but we just kind of want to call it out this week. Situational handy, it can unearth, let's say, a hidden betting value by dissecting the challenges of the schedule when it rolls out, too, and how teams cope with them. In midseason, things change. We talk spot betting, letdowns, look-aheads, scheduling bets for this coming week. So just to give you kind of a quick example of how that works, my Bills, they were in a revenge spot last week. Okay, which we won, and I hope you did as well. But now let's run the risk of a letdown spot here, and we'll have a couple more for you. Okay. So another week, another one-score game for the Vikings, who are taking years off of bettors' lives with tight finishes, which is okay because we won with the last year. But Minnesota barfed up a 16-6 fourth-quarter lead and needed a last-second 54-yard field goal just to get past Detroit, 19-17 in Week 5, falling well short as a 10-point favorite. But we went with Detroit because we like Detroit. They're a tough team. But we had the, again, we went, so thank you, Minnie Mouse, for doing that, because we had the other side. Now, Minnesota travels to Carolina as a 1.5 dog. And we may have a bet with Mickey McCaffrey back. Yeah, Minnie. Sounds like Minnie and Mickey are hooking up in this one. All right? Not that they ever have, but they should have. But good battle. Battle for the ages. No, it won't be. This game won't be. Probably not a great one to watch, but, we'll see. We may have a bet on it. We have the one, the only. Are you here with us, Larry? Gotta crank that song. It's just a great song, man. You're gonna regret because I'm the best as ever been. How you doing today, sir? Larry the Locksmith Larry. I didn't even introduce. How are you? Hey, man, I'm doing good. I bet you are. I bet you're really happy the way things went down last week. I just being the number one spot, right? With your Bulldogs. Yeah, man, I'm happy as a pig in mud. Again, I bet you are. Hells yes, my dog, they number one. Bama lost. I tell you what, it just feels good. But us dog fans, man, we need to stay humble. No, man, just enjoy it. Good. Hey, this new microphone is crazy. I like it, though. It's nice. Enjoy it, man, though. Enjoy it. Eat it up. Take it in, because it won't last long. It will not. Man, who's gonna take us down? Ain't nobody. I'm Larry. That's really not being humble, man. That's not being humble at all. Shit, man. All right, enough said. I'll try to stay humble, man. Yeah, because my Buckeyes are looking pretty good for another playoff run. And, just with everything that's kind of shaken out. Man, that ain't humble either. No shit. I never said I was, but it's gonna be a tough road in the Big Ten, I think. With the way Iowa, Michigan State, Michigan, everybody's playing pretty well. Even Penn State, even though they lost. Just the Big Ten is paving the way this year, I think, and they're looking better than the SEC. I think we can say that. Can we? Would you agree? Nah, man, not this too damn early, man. Not yet. Hey, a couple more weeks, but I will say much improved. Penn State, I mean, there's probably 4 or 5 in that conference that should be in the playoff combo, man. And right now, make no mistake, I said right now. Yes, duly noted. I know it is right now, a little early, but man, they're playing pretty tough. All right, news, notes, and complaints. We're not going to get into too much because I know we've been doing one show because we can put a lot into one show because there's not too much action during the week. We got a lot of other sports starting, so we're busy doing those things as well. But we like to get the football stuff in first. And again, NFL, we got Tua returning. Is Tua returning enough to get by the 0-5 Jags as a road favorite? I really don't think so, but we'll get into that. We might have a bet on it. Buffalo, again, put a huge showing. You can crank that up anytime you want. Anytime. I mean, anytime. Anytime you want to turn that up, do it. But why there's such a large favorite this week? And we'll talk a little bit more about that. See how that works out. See how that works out to our situational betting this week. College football, again, we're not going to get into too much news, notes, and complaints. We could talk about Gruden all day and talk about, all that stuff. But, we're here to make money. We're here to give you some bets. But another big shakeup with Bama out. Just crazy. And who knows what could happen this week. But we got a little nugget for you on that game coming up with they're playing Mississippi State this week. It could be another good one. Mississippi State's got a pretty good deep. But Larry, I bet you just been loving this week. So take it in. Yeah, man, I will, man. And I do got an SEC bet this week, but it ain't on that game. But for them to lose 2 in a row, man, that'd be history, man. I'll tell you what. Yeah, it probably would be. It probably would. I wouldn't put that past this week. No, they are sitting at 17.5 favorites, more than likely. But again, we got to get a little nugget for you. But let's get into our picks. Who we got up first? Clemson Tigers versus Syracuse Orangemen. Orange sitting at plus 14. Over under at 45. This is the Friday game. We're going to give you a Friday game tomorrow at 7 p.m. Oh, the odds still love the Tigers. A Tiger team that hasn't covered all season. They're missing many to injury. Barely beat a BC team without BC's highly touted quarterback, Phil Jerkovec, whatever his name is. 19 points, 21 points, 14 points. How the hell do you have them as a favorite of 14 away? A place they do not play well. A team that has not covered the last 3 or 4 when talking Clemson in the last 4 years. No, I'm sorry, a team that has covered the last 4 against Clemson. 3 or 4. Why? Am I so loud right now? But I love it. It's Thursday night, man. Isn't that the college party night? I've always liked Thursday nights better than Friday nights. Fridays like sit at home, watch a fucking movie, chill. Thursday nights is like, let's party it up like we're in college again. And if some of you are, hell, fuck you, but do it. Do it. Anyways, I feel that it's come down from the 48 points. They gave up 48 points to Cuse last year. I'm sorry. That's why the line's like this, is what I'm trying to say. But I'm not sure. No, they gave up 48 to Cuse and still beat them. But this has the makings of an upset with the recent play of Clemson and the current psyche of the players. I mean, how many years has it been since we haven't talked about Clemson in the playoffs? I mean, it's party time for these kids. Playoffs over. It's party time. They don't give a shit. Syracuse does. Like, I got to take the Cuse at home. I mean, how do you hell do you have a top 25 rating with 2 losses, can't score? Eye test says, well, looks like shit, tastes like shit. Yeah, you know the rest of that. Listen, Clemson Tigers have had an extra week to prepare for this game, but they're not nearly as good as they've been in the past years, and their offense is one of the worst in college football. The Orange are top 25 in total defense, have the 11th best rushing attack. They're good. They're good. They've been competitive
competitive in all three losses, which includes taking Florida State down, Wake Forest, and they took them down to the wire. Syracuse is a feisty team. It's going to put up a fight. You should expect a packed house Friday night. This is a lot of points in a game that has a chance to be very competitive. I'm leaning toward the points. We like the points, so lock it up.
Hey, you like that slot machine. All right, next up on the slate, California Golden Bears at Oregon Ducks. This is another Friday game we're going to give to you. It's a Friday at 10:30. Letdown game for the Ducks. As they lost to Stanford in OT. No. We believe still much motivated team here. And pissed off. The field is still wide open, I think, for a one-loss team to get in. But, Pac-12. But, again, your coach is never going to say that. This may factor into a nice number this week. If we can get below a TD, 2 TDs, I'll take it. This Cal team is horrid. 6 points last game versus Washington State. Yes, they've had a week off, but you suck, you suck. It's the same thing again. Looks like shit, tastes like shit. There's no fixing that. And this isn't the NFL. This isn't the NFL numbers after a bye week, which tends to favor the resting team. But so has Oregon. They've had a week off too. Cal has now lost to Washington State, porous, TCU, horrible. Not horrible, and Nevada. Strength of schedule says fuck no. ATS says no, and Oregon has covered the last 7 of 10 between these two. And I say no. Oregon is 3-1 versus California in the last 3 meetings. The Ducks have outscored the Golden Bears 121-76 in those 4 games. I mean, let's stay with the numbers here. Both teams, again, they've had an extra week off to prep for the game, but the bad news for the Bears, yes, I use that. I just don't think they're equipped to hang with Oregon here. The Ducks fell flat against Stanford, yes, but Cal hasn't faced any challenges this year, like the one that they're about to face in Oregon. I'll lay the points. Definitely lay the points with the Ducks.
Next up, San Diego State at San Jose, the battle of the beaches. Who has the best beaches out there? And I mean beaches. I'm not talking like Gruden. I meant beaches.
They named it San Diego, which of course in German means a whale's vagina.
And I did look that up. It means exactly that. Number 24, Santiago takes on San Jose State. San Jose State getting 8.5 points over under at 41.5. Big man. I know this isn't a game you really want to watch, want to place a bet on, but hey, we're here to make money. That's what we're doing, right? That's what we came here to do. The Aztecs, 8-3 in ATS in the last 11 games as a favorite. 4-0 ATS in their last 4 games overall. The Spartans are 5-2 ATS in their last 8 home games. 0-5 ATS in their last 5 games overall. The under is 13. What am I talking about the under here? Yeah, why is this game on the board? Is this a Friday night game? Is this a Friday night game? Let's check it out. Let's check this out. Let's just take a pause. We're so busy sometimes, but we want to give you a good bet. I want to make sure. Yeah, pull that up. Pull that up there. Where? Yeah, okay. Who's got the best beach of them all? I may not see. Okay, Friday, 10:30. There it is. Already jumped up to 9.5. San Diego State are probably one of the more physical teams in the country, okay? And they can control the trenches. They're ranked 13th in rushing offense, 2nd in rushing defense. The Spartans do absolutely nothing well on the offensive side of the ball. We liked them early on in the year. They had a great year last year. But now they rank like 114th in total offense, 113th in scoring offense. I love my home underdogs. But this feels like a game where San Diego is going to bully its opponent from start to finish. I'll lay the chalk with this. Well, listen, we bought it at 8.5, and it's now moved up a fucking point. So I understand if you don't want to take it. We still like it. But watch out. It might go to 10. It's already tomorrow night, so be careful. Be careful.
Next up on the slate, Oklahoma State versus Texas. This is another murky matchup. Saturday game. I think Texas is going to try to rebound from a tough loss to Oklahoma against the undefeated Oklahoma State team. Texas, minus 5.5 over under 60. Did I already say that? Who gives a shit? Well, the Cowboys are higher ranked. The Longhorns are the college football betting favorite. Strange if you look at it right off the fucking bat. And it's a matchup where we do like the favorites to cover. The only problem I have with this is the Sooners jumping out to a 28-7 first quarter lead, but we're unable to finish the job. Mentally, a game that may be tough to get over. Now they must prove, are they capable of making that a loss, a thing of the past? The fact that they now face an undefeated Oklahoma State team, I think should help. Steve Sarskin's group will be hungry to deal the Cowboys their first loss of the season. Oklahoma State has had a great season thus far, but the team's offense is nowhere near as good as the one of Mike Gundy's has fielded in the past. They used to be so they used to put up so many points. It was great to watch them. They're averaging 25.4 a game right now, which would be the weakest offense this program has had since 2015. And while that says a lot about how good this Oklahoma State's defense is, only 23 teams are allowing fewer points a game this season. But it's also a potential deal breaker as far as beating this Texas team. They put up 48 in a loss to Oklahoma. They're now 5th in the nation in scoring, 44.5 per game. I mean, this Longhorns offense has gone to another level since Stevie opted to make Casey Thompson the starter. Sorry, I'm not speaking too loudly there.
I tell you, we got to fix these mics or something, man. One's off, one's on, but I do like the sound of it. I do. Anyways, after he put in the Casey Thompson guy for Texas, great. His junior's ability to run the ball, they give Texas a whole other dimension compared to one that Hudson, yeah, that's who it was before. And he's also thrown the ball better. With an explosive passing game now as part of Texas, what they have to offer on the table, I think teams are having an even harder time defending their star running back, Bijan Robinson. He rushed for 137 and a touchdown against Oklahoma. And he followed one up with 216 yards against TCU. Overall, the Cowboys, okay, they might be a good defensive team, but an elite college offense normally beats a good defense. And that's exactly what we have here. Now, Texas defense, it might not be anything special, but capable of avoiding the huge plays. Last game, quarterback Spencer Sanders has just 1 touchdown and 3 interceptions. 1 touchdown in an Oklahoma State win over Baylor Bears. That type of outing, it's not going to cut it. It might cut it against Baylor, but it's not going to cut it against Texas. I mean, this has the potential to be a beatdown. Absolutely. Beatdown. Lock it up.
What do we got there? Texas, minus 5.5 at home.
All right, Fresno State Bulldogs versus Wyoming Cowboys. I know another big one that you probably don't want to watch. Oh my God, but you know what? We don't have time for that. I don't want to hear it. I don't want to hear it. I don't want to hear that either, whatever that was. All right, we like this Fresno team, but we've lost a couple outings with them, but we're going to jump on that horse again. No pun facing the Cowboys, but this is such a huge disparity in talent. Strength of schedule. We can't pass it up. And we get a favorable line. with Fresno losing against Hawaii. But yes, it was at Hawaii. Hard to travel and win there. It is. They have a decent team in Hawaii that covers a lot at home. But the 4-1 record of the Cowboys helps us as well. But let's dig it. Wyoming lost to Air Force, only placing 14 on the board, 260 yards of offense. Beat a UConn team by 2. Yeah, UConn. I didn't even know they had a football team this year. Excuse me. Let me clear my throat. Now facing an offense that ranks 7th in yards, almost 200 more per game than Wyoming, and ranked 3rd in the pass. Again, almost 200 more than Wyoming. Wyoming ranks above 100 in most offensive cats. You know what that is? Categories. Cats. No way they can keep pace with a team that beat UCLA, kept it within 1 score to Oregon. Fresno will be much motivated to get a win here. And the Cowboys are probably a bit surprised that they're 4-1 right now. Eat the small points with the better offense, better defense, better coach. Lock it up.
Old Locksmith, you got something for us this week. Where are you sticking to? Where are you going?
SEC, probably. Yeah, man. Mississippi State Rebels. I'm going down to Tennessee, man. Tennessee getting 2.5 at home. Over under 83. 83 damn points, man. Are you shitting me? But that's not where I'm going, man. I'm leaning. I'm leaning somewhere else, man. I've talked some mad shit about these Vols, and I'm gonna continue. Yes, they've had a nice streak going, lightening up that scoreboard against who though? SC, Mizzou, Shitty D. They found some things out with new quarterback, but no way I'm going against number 2 ranked O in the league, man. Number 2 with this Matt Corral dude. I know they got shut out by Bama, but a little revenge nugget here, man. This is Lane Kiffin's team. This is his old team. Tennessee, they dumped on him. Remember, they dumped Lane back in the day. You don't think he'll be pumped to shove it down them balls' throat? You're damn right he will be, dude. Eat them damn points and don't look back, man. Yeah, it seems a bit trappy. I'll just say off the bat, being that it's such a small number. But this is your typical spread that's reacting to last game using the public's eye. Is it not? I feel that that's exactly what they're doing here. Ole Miss won a very emotional one after a beatdown to Bama. They barely won last game, which I think shows a lot in how they rebound. And I do side with you, Locksmith. I do. I also, the quick reaction to the way Tennessee played. Yes, well, but I don't believe they've had any competition yet. And they'll get it here. There's no way they can play the same quarterback play, the same coach. I just don't see it. I think there's a lot more motivated team here. They've only got one down. Listen, this is a small number. I'm taking the Rebels. I'll take it with you, Locksmith. Let's do it up.
All right, let's take a quick word from our sponsors, and we'll be right back.
Have you seen all BetAnySports.eu has to offer? Are you interested in low rollover bonuses? Choose between 2 fantastic premiums with tiny rollover requirements. Get a 55% welcome bonus with only 6 playthrough requirement. Bet your favorite games live through their exclusive live betting feature. And bet your game as it unfolds with the top-of-the-line live betting odds. Mention promo code Capper's Cave and receive a 55% free play bonus to start up your account. That's Capper's Cave, a 55% free play bonus. And don't forget, BetAnySports has to offer high-quality betting lines, true odds and parlays, same-day payouts, and many other unbeatable perks. Use promo code Capper's Cave and experience online sports betting like never before.
All right, we're back. Let's get into the NFL. We'll start with a pretty good game here. Green Bay Packers minus 4.5 at the Chicago Bears. Listen, Green Bay's played its second straight road game in Chicago. Now go to their second straight road game in Week 6 after escaping Cincinnati with an ugly overtime. If you watch that fucking game, that was ugly. Sorry, kickers, but that was ugly. Somehow they sneaked out of there. But this is also the Cheeseheads' third road stop in 4 weeks. Fourth road game in the opening 6 weeks of action. I mean, that's tough. Going back to a disastrous Week 1 neutral site, ass-whooping at the hands of the Saints in Jacksonville. Despite they are still 4-1 SU and ATS. Green Bay has still looked far from dominant. Have they not?
Far from dominant. And they had to climb out of the second half hole to beat Detroit in Week 2. Needed some classic Rodgers magic to take a win at San Francisco in Week 3. Made minus 6.5 bettors nervous with a 10-point home win over Pittsburgh. They won 25-22. In the added frame at Cincinnati in a game that featured 4 missed field goals and potential game-winning field goals. The Bears got the claws out. They did for a big win in Las Vegas in Week 5, a game we picked and liked. Now they return home as a 4.5 home pups to the Packers. This line, now listen up, this line will likely flirt with minus 5.5 to 6 with the public play on Green Bay. The Cheeseheads have been solid bet on this divisional rivalry, covering 17 of the last 22 trips to Soldier Field. However, Chicago's 14-6-1 ATS in the previous 21 games as a home underdog going back to 2016, and they weren't that great. 1-1 ATS versus the Packers at home pup. That's not horrible, but, not much of a sample. I'd wait till this hits 5 or 6, potentially buy it to 7 if it gets close. I like this Chicago team. I'm not going to deny them. I think they're tough all around. They're not the best in the league, but the Packers just aren't playing like the Packers. And I don't think they have it. And I really think Rodgers kind of wants this to go downhill at some point because he doesn't want to get out of there. He wants to get out of there. He does. All right, moving on. Vikings, Panthers. Panthers sitting at minus 1.5 at home. This game has the makeup to be an ugly one. Minnesota has started to dig in on defense, giving up scores 17, 14, and 17 the past 3 weeks. They were supposed to have, one of the best run games. They had such a great offense last year. They just haven't, but the defense has been picking it up. And now Carolina, they come back to reality after a hot start. Panthers' offense was, they were able to work over some weaker foes early. And there's plenty to be desired in the last 2 weeks, right? Garbage time. I mean, they just left plenty out. It was garbage time against Dallas, Week 4. Clouded offensive stumbles, which were on full display in the loss. I mean, quarterback, Sam Darnold, 47 for 76, 60% in the last 2 outings, throwing for 3 touchdowns. He has done pretty good. But 2 coming at the end of a blowout versus Dallas, 5 interceptions to put on top of that. Darnold has also been sacked 8 times, 3 of those coming versus the Eagles, who pressured him 43% of the time in his dropbacks. Now the Panthers' pass protection faces a Minnesota defense that brings pressure on almost 32% of dropbacks, second most in the league. And now have recorded 17 sacks on the year, also second in the league. Not having Christian Mickey to keep opposing pass rushers honest has been a big issue, obviously, for Carolina. But they've been competitive. But even if that dynamic McCaffrey, if he returns, I think Darnold still needs to make throws. Something he couldn't even do when his receivers were wide open in the second half of Sunday's collapse. This is going to be an ugly game, as it's been a trend for Minnesota this season. It's been a trend for Minnesota this season. Just ugly games. But we're going to side with the better quarterback, better weapons, take the points with the horned purple helmets. Yeah, that's what we're going to do. We're going to do. Lock it up, Larry.
Moving on. Did I say that loud? Miami. Sexy Miami. That doesn't sound good. Don't hit those buttons. Miami versus Jacksonville. Jacksonville get 3.5 at home. All right, so if there was ever a time for Jacksonville to record the first win of the season, I think this has got to be their best chance. This has got to be. The Jaguars, they'll get an injury-hit Dolphins team that has lost their last 4 games, including 3 by double figures. No Tua. I know, he's back, but I think this is a good thing. Now Tua. Sorry. No Tua the last several games. But this is a good thing. I mean, it's good for the future, but right now, it's not. When you get hurt late in the season, you have some games under your belt. It's an easy return. He's played in 1.5 games. 1.5. I don't even think it's a full 1.5. He will not be tossed out there to get hurt again. And the team's going to play cautious. The offensive coordinator is going to play cautious. As I really think against the Jags, that's what they're thinking right now.
They're totally thinking that.
Oh, we can win this game. We don't have to put him in and be too tough on him. You know, we can take it easy with him, little dump passes, blah, blah, blah. No. Jags are playing better. Better and better every game. Little hiccup last week, but much anticipated after a night out with Urban Handsy Meyer. But that has all been squashed thanks to Gruden. Thank you, Gruden. Yeah, you squashed that. Makes Urban look like a saint. So Meyer now has a breath of fresh air and will have a chance to gain some momentum with the team, the fans, the staff to get a nice win at home. I mean, Trevor's a winner, and he probably doesn't care about the coaches, late night shenanigans. And he's dying to get in the news. He hasn't been talked about at all. The coach has. The coach is stealing everything from him. He hasn't been talked about it at all. That's great. He wants to put in a great performance and get a win and be talked about. And I think it happens here in London. Oh, yeah, in London. What time is it? It's time to shot, baby. You want a shot, baby? He will. And London's team is the Jags. It is. Lock it up. Lock it up. Do you have anything in the NFL for us there, Locksmith? Do you got something for us?
I hope you do. You don't feel like you want to do this? I mean, I think I'm going to Vegas at Denver, man. Denver minus 3.5. And this is just simple as simple does, man. This couldn't be any worse for the Raiders, man. Hot start, and now they're cold, and I mean cold as hit the desert in Sin City. This ain't one of those situations where you go out and fight for your coach, especially the black players, man. Yeah, they want to fight to prove that they don't need his ass. But, man, this is tough to shuffle in 1 week. New coach, now got a new scheme. You got to make your own team and all that shit. And you got to do all that shit. Also, the recent struggles on offense, man, this is going to play a huge role against one of the better defenses in the NFL, man. It's a tough pill, man, to take down in 1 week, man, and almost too emotional to bring to Mile High, man. If it was at home, man, I'd think about it, but, man, they got to go to Mile High, man, where folks are just getting high as shit, and it's just tough to play in that thin air, man. And it's a much-needed conference win for both, yes. Denver's sitting at 3-2, one back from LA, and just wide open after that, man, with KC sitting at 3 losses. Now, I don't like the hook, man. So I might wait for it to bite down to about 3 points, man. But I think that might happen, man. I think it could get there. Yeah, it definitely could. But hey, man, that's a good angle. I do like that. I know it's going to be tough when you get new coaches taking over a new system. You're going to try so hard to kind of maintain what Gruden was doing, so you don't really confuse the players too much. But there's just that emotional fact to it. You know, that they just have a bad look to him. Your coach was a racist, and you guys were okay with it. Even though he's not. We're not going to dig into those politics and all that shit. But this is how the media, this is how the fans, this is how everybody looks at it right now. And this is how the players feel. So it is emotional. It's an emotional subject. I get it. But you think you can just go out there and play, but that's maybe what these players want to do. But it's not just about going out there and playing. You got to follow schemes. You got to do all this shit. You got to take emotion out of it. You got to be smart. So I like your play on Denver. Denver's playing good ball right now. But again, with the hook, 3.5, I don't know. That's a tough one. Let's move on. Kansas City at Washington. Washington gets 6.5 at home, over under 55.5. Normally, this number would be about 7-10, but given the recent struggles of the Chiefs, we get a favorable number here at a TD. Andy Reid will have this team ready after a beatdown at home. There's no team in the league right now that has to prove themselves. There's no other team that has to prove themselves even more. And not that they don't have the talent or the coach or the winning recipe, just early season struggles. And they played the best team in the league. I'm not going to lie. They played the best team in the league. But not so early anymore. All right? We're about over a fourth now, so not so early. And it's time to put the Jets on against a subpar Washington team, right? Washington's not performing well in D. And we all thought maybe they could hang in there after they lost a quarterback, Fitzy. But this D is just not performing. If they can't beat New Orleans beat them by 11, then a pissed off KC can do the same, if not more. KC's defense, yeah, not well. And I should say in KC's defense and their defense has been bad, but they haven't played the caliber that KC's played. I mean, KC's probably had the toughest so far in the in the first quarter of the season. Probably the top O's, starting with Buffalo, Cleveland, Baltimore, Chargers. Pretty much the top 4 teams in the AFC they've had to play. So I think this is just a great situational spot here. You get Kansas City minus just a touchdown. We'll take it. Lock it up. All right, let's get into some quick. Man, I'll tell you what, that is loud. Let's get into some betting nuggets and quick picks. We'll kick it back to college. Pittsburgh Panthers versus the Virginia Tech Hokies. Hokies getting 5 points. Listen, Pitt is sitting quietly at number 1 in points in FBS. Pittsburgh Panthers, number 1. Virginia Tech, 93. Simple. Pitt, they're number 3 in yards, number 4 in pass. ACC, watch out. Watch the fuck out. P-Tech is off a heartbreaker to Notre Dame. Might want to catch these points. It might go under because it is hard to play in the black hole. But you know what? The way Pitt's playing right now, I'm telling you, they're studly. We all thought it was going to be North Carolina, but they're studly. Clemson. We all thought Clemson. It's not Clemson. Bama. Mississippi. Bama. Mississippi State. Getting 17.5 at home. Last time the University of Alabama lost back-to-back regular season games was all the way back in 2007. That was the last time the school lost to Mississippi State, too. But the 2019 Alabama team lost to Joe Burrow and the epic LSU squad. A week later, won at Mississippi State 38-7. Little nuggets. Eat them if you please. Yeah. All right, let's kick it back over to the NFL. Dallas Cowboys sitting at -3, New England Patriots at New England Patriots. This is a buy now situation. I know it's Thursday, but buy now. Should have bought it earlier in the week, and I hope you did, but buy now. New England may have impressed with its efforts versus Tampa Bay, but we all knew that. That was just political. I mean, in a couple weeks back, but it's reality. But in reality, yeah, it's 2 wins on the year have come against the Jets. And who else? Yeah, the Texans. The latter of which needed a second half comeback in a last-second field goal against probably the worst team in the league. If you're on board with the Cowboys, grab them now. It's a field goal. Grab them. All right, Los Angeles Rams, -10.5 at the New York Giants. This is a look-ahead spot. The Rams are what we talked about before. The Rams are given a pile of points in New Jersey. Yeah, we're going to call it New Jersey in Week 6. Thanks large in part to the injury problems popping up with the Giants following their loss to Dallas on Sunday. Los Angeles, and more specifically, QB Matt Stafford could be looking past New York to a meeting with his former team, Detroit, next week in Week 7. Adding to the potential look ahead, LA is a pile of points to cover here in MetLife Stadium. A pile of them. And an early start time on the East Coast with the kickoff at 1 p.m. That is 10 a.m. Pacific, if you do not know, in California. I mean, Sean McVay hasn't been bothered by the time difference in his career. But this could have the visions of a past protege and current Detroit QB, Jared Goff. Yeah, just dancing around in his head. Just dancing. That's in their next game, too. Yeah. So be careful. Wouldn't mind a tease on the Giants here. And I think this situation, more than the Stafford one, as they got rid of Goff, and Stafford went to a way better situation. If anything, he feels bad. Like punching, it's like punching your little sister. It's just not cool. He's going to feel bad. I really think he's going to feel really bad. So anyway, look ahead game. Arizona Cardinals, Cleveland Browns over under sitting at 53. This is a bet now again on the overdogs. The overdogs. This is what we're going to call the Browns, the overdogs. Yes, the overdogs. This total opened at 53.5 and instantly jumped to 54 at some books and will continue to go up. If you're financially fascinated by offensive fireworks, then don't wait and bet the over now before this number closes at the realm of 55 plus. Just do it. Just do it. It'll be exciting. Another exciting one. All right, Buffalo, Tennessee. I'm going to end it with this one because it's the Monday night one. It was the Sunday night last week. Love my Bells, but I feel this should be the spread if Buffalo was at home. They're getting 5.5. They're 5.5 minus 5.5 faves. To have to back two back-to-back national games, especially Monday night, this is tough to follow up. And the recent struggles on the Titans' defense may be the reason. One of the worst in the league right now. One of the worst. Now go against Allen, who seems to be en route to be on top of even better than last season. Just seems unstoppable. When he can run like that, I think they can just do anything with any play. I think a win here, but this is a close one. Down to the wire. Bills by 2. If it goes to 6, which it might, play the Titans at home. I mean, Bills are now the team to beat in the AFC, not the Chiefs. I mean, Tennessee will be highly motivated, ready for a showdown in Nashville.
I think that's it. Quit hitting my microphone, man. Well, good luck to ya. Those are our picks for the week. We'll see you next week. I'm Lorenzo and Larry. This is Free Vixen. And we're out.